In the late 1980s, within the quiet, tree-lined streets of an upscale diplomatic quarter in a North African capital, a dinner party was underway. It was meant to be a routine gathering between colleagues, but it would soon ignite a firestorm of international tension. The host, an ambassador from one nation, had invited a counterpart from another to his residence. The district was known for its heavy security, inhabited only by high-ranking officials, intelligence officers, and wealthy elites. It was considered untouchable. When the evening concluded, the visiting diplomat walked out to his parked car and found the glass shattered. A briefcase was gone. Inside were not just official documents and cash, but a weapon, a silenced pistol loaded with rare explosive ammunition. These were not ordinary bullets. Upon impact, they detonated inside the body, leaving victims with almost no chance of survival. The theft was not just a crime, it was a potential geopolitical incident. Authorities feared the weapon was stolen for an assassination, one that could destabilize relations between multiple nations. The investigation began immediately, but the thief was a ghost. No fingerprints, no witnesses, no camera footage. The security forces were baffled. Then, the violence began. First, a night watchman at a construction warehouse was found dead. The cause was a single shot from an explosive bullet. Nothing was stolen from the warehouse, raising the question, why kill a guard for no reason? Weeks later, a civilian was shot in the leg while arguing with a stranger over a cigarette. The bullet was the same explosive type. The man survived, but his leg had to be amputated. The weapon was still out there, and the killer was walking the same streets as the diplomats. Panic spread when a wave of burglaries struck the same secure district. 41 villas were targeted. The thief struck only when the residents were traveling, taking only gold and jewelry. He moved with athletic precision, leaping between balconies, evading capture. One intelligence officer even chased the intruder across the rooftops, but couldn't match the thief's agility. The perpetrator knew the layout of the homes too well, as if he had lived in them. The case was handed to a seasoned investigator, a man known for his intuition. He noticed a pattern in the stolen items. The gold pieces were unique, custom-designed heirlooms. They couldn't be melted down immediately without losing value. The investigator realized the thief would have to sell them whole, and he would have to sell them cheaply to move the heat. The investigation shifted from the streets to the gold shops. The team warned every dealer in the city, cooperate or face the consequences. Finally, a lead emerged. One shop owner admitted refusing to buy suspicious gold, but pointed to a competitor who had purchased a large batch at half price. Under pressure, the second dealer confessed. He gave up the seller's address, a modest room in a building, guarded by an elderly man. When police raided the location, a young man fled. He was caught after a brief chase. Inside the elderly man's room, officers found a wooden box. The old man had been sitting on it the entire time. Inside was a fortune in gold, the missing heirlooms from the villas. The young man confessed. He was an orphan who had once worked as a laborer in the very villas he robbed. He knew the security routines, the travel schedules, and the hidden safes because he had cleaned them. He was the ghost who knew the houses better than the owners. But the revelations went deeper. He He admitted to stealing the diplomat's car during a period of desperation. As for the murders, the motive was personal vengeance. The warehouse guard had once been responsible for getting him fired from a job. Years earlier, the civilian shot in the leg was simply a victim of the thief's rage over a moment of perceived disrespect. The weapon was never recovered, claimed to be discarded in the desert, but the killer was brought to justice. He was sentenced to death. In the aftermath, the owner of the warehouse where the guard was killed took responsibility for the victim's children, providing them with a home and education. The diplomatic incident faded, the gold was returned, and the secure district finally found peace, though the shadow of the phantom thief lingered in the memory of those who lived there.